Come back to Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, here in Ul'dah, in front of a Gate of Naut. Where's Paiyo Reayo? Ah! Why, you're Serenia Shadowstar, the famous adventurer. Thank the gods for bringing you here. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Paiyo Reayo, one of the many faceless adventurers struggling to make their way in Eorzea. Forgive me if I sound bitter, I don't begrudge you your renown. Your superiority as an adventurer was obvious to me long before you became a household name. Our paths crossed near Tastasha, you see? Hard to believe we moved in similar circles back then. Speaking of which, do you perchance remember having met a conjurer named Edda around that time? We used to adventure together, she and I, and two others. Our little group didn't last very long though. Things fell to pieces when ARR, our leader, and Edda's fiancé, met his end in the Tam-Tara DeepCroft. Harsh words were exchanged and we all went our separate roads. Since then, I've been getting on by my own. Truth be told, I hadn't planned on seeing any of my former comrades again, but then this letter arrived from Edda containing an invitation to our wedding. Now I know what you're thinking. I should be happy for her, and I was, until I noticed the name of her groom-to-be. It was none other than ARR. What's more, the venue of the ceremony is to be the Tam-Tara DeepCroft, the very place the poor fellow died. Something isn't right, I tell you. Now in the letter, Edda wrote that Liavin, that the fourth member of our group, had already agreed to attend. They chanced to meet each other recently, from what I could gather. Not knowing what to make of it all, I thought it wise to consult Liavin about the whole strange affair before replying, but last I heard she joined the Science of the Seventh Dawn and I didn't have the first idea how to go about tracking her down. Not until the greatest sign of them all appeared, that is. Could you tell me where I might find her? She's dead and lying in the Lichiat of Sandama Landama. In the Lichiat of the Church of Saint Adama Landama? I'm sorry, I don't... Slain in an imperial raid, you say? By the 12, I had no idea. When did this happen? Were the Black Wolves still lived? Then how can it be that Liviana met Edda recently? Gods, I don't know what to believe. If it isn't too much to ask, I would be most grateful if you'd show me Liavin's grave. We didn't always see eye to eye, but she had a good heart, and if she's truly... Well, I need to pay my respects. Please, meet me at Village Yard. Okay, I think in case you don't remember who these people are, I just put in a few screenshots. Now, first we have here the group in front of the Tastasha Sea Grotto before we start our first dungeon. Tastasha. Then there's a picture of the other two blaming Edda for ARR's death after we finish Tam-Tara DeepCroft. And then after we finish Copperbell Mines, and Edda approaches us personally and actually has a is hopeful for a new start. She wants to return home, retrain, and start anew as an adventurer later on. And that is the last thing we heard of her until now. The tombstone has been knocked over and the earth before it is disturbed. So someone dug up the corpse. So this is where Liavin now lies. What's the meaning of this? Not only is her grave defiled, her body is gone. Who could have done this? Oh no. Could it have been Edda? The more I think about it, the more it makes... Well, I was going to make sense, but... Gods! I will try to explain. To the rest of us, our little party of four was but a means to riches and glory, such things as adventurers seek. But to Edda, it was her life. She blamed herself for Aver's death, and to our shame, we agreed with her, though we knew full well that we are all to blame, and then we left her there she stood with her fiancé's hat for company. How could we have been so heartless? Small wonder if a poor girl has been driven from her wits. What's done is done. All we can do is admit to our mistakes and make amends as best we can. Aver's gone and so's Liavin, but Edda refuses to accept it. She won't let go of the past. I know not what she means to do in Tam-Tara, but it can lead to no good end. I will attend this wedding and try to restore her to her senses. I would be much reassured if you could accompany me, Serenia. As Avea once did, so too does Edda look up to you. She may not listen to me, but she may yet heed the words of someone she admires. And failing that... No, it doesn't bear thinking about it. If we hurry, it need not come to that. Please meet me at the Tam-Tara DeepCroft. Together, we can put an end to whatever madness Edda is planning. Okay, to the Tam-Tara DeepCroft in Gridania we go. Past the low-level players questing here. A low-level thaumaturge. Just so happens a fellow like that went into the DeepCroft not a minute ago. There was a young lady with him dressed head to toe in white. My lass was all smiles and giggles like a maiden on a wedding day, but your friend looks stiff as a board. Can't say I blame him, though. Crypts do strange things to the best of us. You mean to head inside as well, do you? Well, take care you don't wake the dead, huh? With that, we unlock Tam-Tara DeepCroft Hard Mode. Now, I'm not certain if I had shown it off. In Final Fantasy XIV, Hard Mode doesn't simply mean repeat the same dungeon at a higher level. It is a dungeon with a similar layout, but entirely new bosses and usually a new storyline. And that is where we go now. To the Tam-Tara DeepCroft to stop Edda. First we have a few diamonds. So far so normal. Now the demon pawns and other void sent creatures are lessened. But I guess in this place they fit. You have to kill the pawns before you can actually attack the Vodoriga creature here. It is invincible before the tethers are cut. There's our first boss. Liavin, the corpse that was missing. As we mentioned here, there will be zombies here. Do not attack the zombies. So long as they are just there and hit characters, they do chip damage. But when you attack them, they explode, as we will see to the end of this battle. However, from time to time you get this red marker and the target for the arrow rain. And the arrow rain just kills all the zombies that are in its area. And they are exploding. That's happened when you hit them. You get stacks of vulnerability and a lot of damage. The defiled coffin, which we need to open. So there comes Dantarian, a demon of some kind. Now there's a story behind this demon which I don't know. I once watched an episode from Zeppler where she argued that this is a demon that manipulated Edda into this madness. Oh, and here is throughout the entire area there are these diary pages of Edda's that you can read at your convenience. I think I just read them at the end of the episode. Read them all together. Read them out all together. There, along the path is a barrier we can only open once all the defiled coffins have been opened and you defeat the Tantalion that spawns out of it. Okay, where is the second boss? Yeah. As you can see, in the middle of a room is Paiyo Reayo. And there's the spare body, our boss. Now from these black portals there, balls of dark energy begin drifting toward Paiyo Reayo. And he can take one, but not much more than that. Luckily, the healer can heal him, but as you can see, those come pretty closely together, so you need to face tank these balls before Paiyo Reayo dies, and that is an instant defeat. Okay. Second try. I can't move my body. Help me! Oops. Also, be careful you don't drag the boss too closely to the NPC, because first he has these cleave attacks and he spawns these black mists here which give a bleeding effect. Both of which are not healthy for the little guy. I have some healing too, please? I thought I was done for. I owe you one. I can't stand being here any longer. I see you outside. Oh, that was that boss. Even if I was probably the least helpful player here. The bane of being a melee class. When you have to move around a lot without the boss. Also mind the names of the monsters in this dungeon here. Spare lungs, discarded eye. The boss was called spare body. Fly blown failure. Macabre. Come here. Nothing. He's immune. Thanks to the horns. And in the middle of the room is Edda. Still in her conjurer's garb. And she somehow believes this thing that came from her beloved's head is him. Look there, all these people have come to make us a gift of their souls. Isn't that kind of them? Even Serenia is here. Now your doom of becoming like her can come true. Now, Edda herself is not attackable. There, that thing that claims to be him is, however. Thank you ever so much for coming to our wedding. Your body means the world to There. We are our witnesses. The ceremony can't begin without them. And there, from the portals, come these grooms to be, who begin crawling into the middle of a room toward Edda. And if they reach her, these sigils here in the these not glowing sigils in the middle of the room start glowing, and that strengthens one of the attacks that Edda uses. This one, Red Wedding, the more grooms reach her, the more powerful it is, and that already hurt without anyone reaching her. If you're not well equipped, this can easily overwhelm you. If you're not careful. Careful with the AoEs from the golems. Or gargoyles, or what are they? Room. Another wet wedding. 1,800. Once Abea is down, the battle is over. What have you done? Abea! No! She's backing off toward the corner of the arena. Her rope catches fire and she stumbles. And smiles. I guess she's at least happy that when they can't be together in life, they can be together in death. It's finally over. Would that it could have been different, but what choice did we have? Let this be my last act as an adventurer. I've done quite enough harm as it is. I mean to go home and live out my days and... No, it can't be. I'm sorry, please forgive me. There's nothing. Okay, and with that, I end this episode. Until next time, when we actually return to the main quest, I think. I'm Mace, and don't get lost. And before you leave, Edda's diaries. I finally mustered the courage to speak with our hero, my love. Serenia is as kind and wise as she is brave and strong. She listened attentively as I told her all about you, about us. Though she's a woman of few words, or perhaps because she is, everything she said seemed to inspire me. Why, her gaze alone instilled me with a confidence I never knew I had. Truly, I feel better prepared to face the future for having met her. How right you were, my love. Scarcely a week has passed since we returned to the village, and already I cannot help thinking it was a mistake. There was a time when this place seemed just large enough, but having seen the wider world, it all feels so insufferably confined that I often find myself struggling for breath. I know that it is the same for you, my love. The only time I feel truly alive is when I'm adventuring with you. We are as caged birds in this backwater. So long as we remain here, we will never spread our wings and soar. So let us take back to the road and create a lifetime of wonderful memories together. I could not have hoped for a more romantic visit to Mordona. The crystals that pierce the landscape glowed in all their majesty, as if to celebrate our future together. And as we lay by the silver tear lake, watching the waves lapping at the shore, the sun took its leave behind the horizon, that we might enjoy a moment of intimacy. I want us to be together forever. You first said these words to me years ago, and you said them to me again tonight. I'm so happy to be with you. You have been looking deathly pale of late. The scorching heat of Fanaland does not agree with you. You were never fond of hot climes, and it was a mistake to come here. Let us make for Kerfurs, where the bracing air will put roses on your cheeks. I know, it's not easy being without a body. I promised to find one for you, but you must have patience. You're my husband-to-be, and there's nothing I would not do for you. So please have faith in me. Give me time, my love, and I shall make you whole again, as you make me. I'm sorry to keep you waiting, my love, but we cannot afford to compromise, not where a new body is concerned. Ordinary adventurers die often enough, leaving their ordinary corpses. But if you are to be like Serenia, we cannot settle for anything less than extraordinary. But a strong body requires a strong soul, as I recently discovered. Now you're probably worried that strong souls are rare, and so they are. But never fear, for we can create one ourselves. All we need is a plentiful supply of a weaker kind, and they are common indeed. Be patient just a little longer, my love, and all will be as you desire. With a nigh endless supply of bodies here, I will make you well again, my love. Then we shall be wed as man and wife, and forever be joined as the gods intended. Of course, it's only fitting that a proper ceremony be held, with guests in attendance. I will send out invitations to all our friends. They will be so happy for us, I have no doubt they will jump at the chance to part with their souls. Okay. You can see, that girl has truly lost all connection to reality.